Being part of a neurodiverse family is wild but fantastic.
I'm Tash.
I'm Matthew.
And we are the owners of Bleeding Hearts Tattoo. So we wanted you to step in and maybe feel like you're in your auntie's house.
The vibe in the shop is just really nice and friendly.
These guys are my safe space, they are my best friends.
We wanted everybody to feel comfortable, so regardless of your age, your gender, your diagnoses.
We have things like fidget toys and disposable earplugs, so if they have like noise or sensory issues.
I definitely think that there is a link between being neurodiverse and getting tattoos.
It's a way for neurodivergent people to express themselves.
I'm Em, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an SEN and learning support assistant in school. I had siblings that were both autistic, but both different ends of the spectrum. My mum was like, oh yeah, that doesn't quite fit you. And then got to secondary and school was like, there's something there, we need to support her. And they did, and it took 3.5 years to get my diagnosis because it was through COVID. And then when I was 16, I was finally diagnosed with a dual diagnosis of both the autism and ADHD. I find it hard because one day I can be so organised, I need to know what's going on. The next day I'll wake up and book a flight to Poland and off I go. The ADHD is just like, yeah, go for it, and just like absolutely raging. So it's kind of, every day feels like I'm on a boat and I'm just bobbing on the sea.
Hi, are you Em?
Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you. I'm Polly. If you want to take a seat for me.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Polly. Wait, what was it? Polly, my age, pronouns, and that I'm a tattoo artist. Yeah. Hi, I'm Polly. I'm 28. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a tattoo artist. I've got the design here. You can take that and have a look. I prefer to do, I'd say like illustrative. I like to tattoo things that I am inspired by outside of work. So anything botanical like mushrooms, leaves, flowers, tarot cards. So what I've done is just sort of naturally added where the shading would go. On this design I've not put the shading in the tulips. We'll be doing some shading on there, but I didn't want to do it too heavy, so nice and light. The tattoo I'm doing today is a Triceratops skull. With some tulips included. What's the significance of the dinosaur tattoo?
I have a love for all dinosaurs, but a Triceratops is my favourite. I think it's quite like an intricate skull, so it looks really nice. And then like the tulips are like my favourite flower. When I was thinking about getting it, I looked at cartoon dinosaurs, I've looked at like realistic, I'm like, no, I want to go back to the basic skull, and it's like a very true representation of like what dinosaurs were like. After many years, the fossils and the skulls and everything, like the bones, were discovered, and that's what was always there. I wanted the flowers because it kind of goes over it as like the pretty image on the outside, and it kind of shows like like when people mask and how it's like covering it up, and you don't see the autism and like everything through that.
I also quite like dinosaurs. I've got a T-Rex skull on my shoulder as well,
wow.
so this is really up my street.
All my tattoos like have a meaning. So like my first tattoo was a treble clef and a bass clef that links together to make a heart. And then I came back from the States in September and was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some more. And I've now got a campfire and like my little chipmunk for like my time, because the amount of chipmunks in America is crazy.
Is there one that shouts out to you more? I probably wouldn't I probably wouldn't go any smaller.
No.
Just because of the detail that's in it.
Yeah, I just want to see how that fits, but they're both like the size that I was thinking.
Okay, good. I think it's a way for neurodivergent people to express themselves, but in a non-verbal way. So it sort of gives them that security of, you know, I'm showing the world who I am, but I don't necessarily have to verbally speak about it.
You can see the difference in people between the different tattoos that they get. So, yeah, I really like that. I'm like, yes, like, I'm expressing myself.
I'm just thinking maybe we could wrap it with tape
Okay, yeah,
around the side,
that'd
and
work.
then that way it will sort of pull. It's just whether or not you're comfortable with that feeling.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah?
As
Okay,
long as
cool.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous before a tattoo?
Not really. It's more like I'm excited, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Kind of thing. Like, it's not really like nerves, as in, oh, why am I doing this? It's just like a, ah.
Particularly autistic people that I've tattooed have enjoyed the fact that when getting tattooed, they can sort of control that sensory input that they have on their bodies. So I guess in like a similar way to stimming. What I'll do before I pop it on is just clean and shave the area.
You know, the worst one for being shaved was when I got the one above like the crease there.
Yeah.
Because when the hairs grew back, they were like prickling.
Itchy.
It, like, I was like, what is going on? Like, this hurts so. It didn't hurt, but it was tickling.
It's
like,
not a nice feeling though,
No.
is it?
For me, it's just like time. Like, have a rough, like, how long it's going to take. Do we need to take a break in between? Like, and also for me, I can sit still. But when you're that close to my body, I am probably going to move. So just being open, saying, I'm not very confident, like, tattooing on moving bodies. I'd be like, okay, maybe you're not the person for me, kind of thing. And I don't move lots, but enough that it could go wrong, I guess. Tickles.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Luckily, so far, we've not made any mistakes whilst tattooing. I think, especially because people tend to twitch anyway during tattoos, it's a normal thing that happens. I think as a tattoo artist, you almost gain like a sixth sense. I'll do a little bit first, just so you get used to the feeling.
Yeah.
And then we'll get going, if that's okay with you. How's that?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello, I'm Duncan, I'm 41 years old and I do care work. I've got combined ADHD and just over a year ago I was diagnosed autistic as well, which, yeah, it's a strange thing, simultaneously really new, but also something I've been living with for sort of 41 years. And I'm just having to completely recontextualise all the things, how I see the world, how I respond to the world, and yeah, it's been interesting.
Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Going?
Good, thank you. Excited about today.
Awesome. Come on, grab a seat.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm 37. I'm suspected autistic and confirmed dyscalculia, and I'm a tattoo artist.
Right, what you got for me?
So, based on what you've sent me,
Yes,
drawn this up
that was
for you.
exactly.
So we've added some of the longer lines. Duncan is having two identical suns on his knees, so within my style, but a little bit dark to cover the whole like kneecap and surrounding areas.
I just think it's like the placement and the design is going to look really bold and striking. They're in a sort of medieval style, which is something I like. Again, it sort of links to my love of history, my old illustrations and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be a really good starting point for, yeah, building up my legs with various pieces by artists that I really like.
Is there any particular meaning behind the tattoo or reason you've gone for this?
I love the style, the sort of medieval style. I find it, you know, it sort of links to like stuff I love about history and things like that. Didn't really think about it, but obviously we're just coming to the shortest time of the year, and where you don't see the sun much, and it's just quite nice to have a sort of reminder it's coming back. I've always loved getting outdoors. Again, didn't realise until more recently that it was a really important part of how I regulate myself. I love fractal patterns, which you just find all around you in nature. I love the, you know, shades of green and natural colours. Looking up in the branches, the leaves, looking down at the ground. I love fungi and mushrooms, you know, I love moss and plants and animals. I think in future I'd love to be more involved in working in sort of conservation or management of environments and things like that, because yeah, it just brings a lot to my life. It's going to look great.
Yeah.
Make me smile.
Yeah, it'll look cool. Awesome. Okay, well, have a sit here, have yourself a drink and snacks if you want, and I'll shout you when I'm ready.
All right, Sam. Thank you.
I do really like being out in nature. I think it depends on the circumstance. So sometimes we love to take our son out to nature. That can be stressful in itself because, you know, they're little flight risks and they just want to pick up everything and walk dead slow. And I think part of my like neurodivergence is patience. When we're having a good day, I do really enjoy it. I like most recent one was we were going through a forest and I was looking for those little red mushrooms because I'd never seen one in real life and I always wanted to see one. And I eventually found about 8. It was great.
That's the kind of boot I want. Like that.
They're Chelsea boots.
Yeah, but they're not pointy Chelsea boots.
Dealers.
That's what they're called.
Dealer boots.
Dealer boots.
That's what farmers call them. These are what are they? Birkenstocks. Yeah, I got
Oh,
them because they're not pointy.
Nice. The main concerns with tiring knees is they can be quite painful. So whether he'll be able to sit for both knees is going to be, we don't know. It might be good, it might be not. Some people will surprise you.
Did you moisturise?
I've been moisturising 3 times a day for the last week.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just because the skin on knees can be quite dry.
Yeah.
Especially like you say you do a job that I think involves outdoorsy stuff a bit. You know, if you're
Yeah, this time of year when you're either outside and it's cold or you come in and everything's like blasted with heat.
skin dry.
Everything just it's really dry. Yeah.
Do you shave a lot of knees and that?
I do, unfortunately. It's kind of weird.
This is the first for me.
Shave a lot of everything.
Smooth. Yeah.
Ash, can I have your anatomical help for a second?
I don't know if it looks too far over. I know this is going to be weird, can I get you to slightly bend your knee for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, see when his leg's like that, it looks pretty spot on. You do just have very big muscles here, don't you?
Yeah, muscular legs.
When I had my knees tattooed, the guy that did it, he stenciled them about 7 times. And on the last one, he got really angry with me. And he was like, if I can't do it this time, I'm not doing it. And I was really young and I was like, okay. Because I didn't know any different or any better at the time. But
Your fault for having knees.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been tattooing for about 7 years and 5 of those have been made up of being aware of the problems in the industry caused by things like abuse and sexual assault and just inappropriate behaviour from other people in the industry, and those do tend to be other men.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely. So my kind of goal and ethos around the stuff like that is to make sure that I can evidence to people that I'm not that kind of man and that they will be safe with me. I tend to ruffle a lot of feathers in the tattoo industry with my opinions. Not bad opinions, by the way, good opinions, or what I was.
Well, yeah, I've seen some of that. Like you're involved in the Draw-the-Line project
Draw-the-Line
and things like that.
Yeah. I'm part of a group that's working to try and make differences in the industry, and unfortunately, the tattoo industry can sexualise people quite a lot, and it's inappropriate and it needs to change.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. Like, because I've got a friend who's been on the receiving end of like an abusive tattooer.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. I think it's really important for men to speak up about a lot of the problems that are out there because not enough men do. It's mostly the women.
Yes, it's a hard and difficult time to be a man, but I think it's a hard and difficult time to be anyone. Like, whatever I'm going through is a piece of piss compared to someone who might be trans or might be gay and is seeing all the hatred and vitriol that's out in it's just common now. It's okay for all of that absolute hatred and shit to be flung at people who are just good people, normal people trying to live their lives.
And there are quite a few people in the industry who do hold quite a toxic mentality towards this, what they would refer to as woke agenda.
And yeah, I suppose at the minute we're seeing a lot of pushback against that. Things that we sort of took for granted of rights and acceptance that I thought would just be here for good because they were, and it turns out they're not. And I find that scary and upsetting. People in my sort of woke lefty crowd mates, for the most part, are just kind people, good people, curious.
So, what do you do for work?
So currently I'm working in a special ed school. I'm a learning support system, which means I'm in the classroom working with 9 teenage boys. It's a lot of fun, you know. You've got the testosterone going and every day is so different with them, but also so similar. Like you keep to a set routine, but we all know the routine ends up going out the window and that upsets one child and the other child's like, yay! I've got a lot of kids that are like autistic.
Yeah.
And then a few kids with Down syndrome. They are so fun to work with.
Yeah.
It's really enjoyable, rewarding, and I feel like I'm using my knowledge like to the best, and people like hopefully I'm changing their lives in a really good way.
Before I did tattooing, I worked at a special education needs college.
Oh yeah.
So working with special education needs learners and students, we would support them throughout their day. There's nothing quite like knowing that you've helped a person or a student achieve a goal that they have been working on for however long.
The children I'm with, if they ask for a biscuit and they don't normally talk to me, I'm like, you can have a biscuit.
Yeah.
Well done for communicating. I mean, if they ask to go on a run, I can't necessarily go and take them on a run.
But you can have a biscuit.
Yeah, like it's finding a means and like a way to make it work. Before the school I'm at now, I was working in the mainstream. So you had your children with additional needs in a setting that wasn't made for them.
Mainstream colleges and schools especially, obviously they have to sort of follow certain rules and restrictions, and you know, it's about learning, and especially when I was in school and in college, it was go and sit at the back, you're ruining it for everybody else. And I think there's not that special care and consideration.
They're going there to help their future, their lives outside of school, rather than like school sets you, like a mainstream school sets you up to work, a SEN school sets you up to live. Were you working with them to like go into supported living, to go into work? I'd also like love to see some more support like for people that are going into like workplace, like first jobs and everything. You're almost like thrown in the deep end, just like the schools say, oh, we're setting you up to like go to university and work, but then what do you actually do? All of a sudden you're on your own.
Do you find that like having that experience in a college, does it help like with your home life then? You said that you've got family there.
Yeah, definitely. So now like there's coping strategies, like things that we do with the kids, get them out, that I now do with my sister. Being part of a neurodiverse family is wild but fantastic. As I grew up, I was very much looking after like my older brother, because my sister had a lot more meltdowns and my brother struggled with the noise, and I always felt like I was there for them. My dad's diagnosis was after my siblings but before mine. So he was diagnosed as autistic, and which for me explained a lot, because I never understood my dad, which is kind of weird to say, but I always knew like I didn't have that connection with him. So then when he was diagnosed, it was kind of like, oh, that does make sense. And my mum, like, she doesn't have a diagnosis of anything, but for her, she feels like it's too long to go down the pathway. Now it's awesome because you have my older brother that's trying to get on with his degree, while my younger sister's running around the house and wrecking everything, and I come in from work and I'm like, what's going on? And it's chaos, but a good chaos.
You are diagnosed with ADHD, am I right?
Yeah.
My doctor has actually suspected that I have ADHD. I think for me a lot of it is sensory, so even as a child, particular foods, tags in clothing, the way things feel would quite often cause meltdowns, and I'm particularly anxious. I got diagnosed with anxiety and depression quite young, but a couple of years back I went to my doctors to speak to her, as I frequently did, about my mental health, and was just sort of talking to her, and she looked at me and she was like, you may have been misdiagnosed, I think you might be ADHD. And she suggested for me to get a diagnosis, but I haven't actually taken that step yet. So do you feel like having the diagnosis helps you?
I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a diagnosis or not, I don't think.
Yeah.
But having that diagnosis explains sometimes why you are the way you are. I can use my knowledge to like support myself in a way.
So at the minute, it's not something that I'm like actively pursuing. There are other things that I want to do first before thinking about whether it's something that I actually need or not. I'm going to give it a clean, and then you can have a look at the finished tattoo.
Yay!
so coming over to the mirror.
Looks really good. I can't wait for it to heal. See like what it's like then. Wow. You know, like when you don't expect something to look so good, like, and it just does.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I am.
Amazing.
Working with Polly was really good. Like, I definitely want to come back and get another tattoo with her if she's available.
This is going to be one of the last tattoos that I'm doing in the studio because in January I'm actually flying to Australia for a year. Thankfully, the guys here like me enough to let me back when I come home, which is really nice. It makes me feel welcome and loved. But yeah, I'm going to be the other side of the world.
What's your favourite tattoo that you've got?
Yeah, I think it'd be my back piece. Big skull with a couple of flowers. I like skulls, they look pretty cool. Collector, hoarder. Yeah, I mean, I'm always fascinated when I'm outside about things I find. So there's a lot of pebbles, a lot of bones. I like art, you know, I can't afford anything expensive, but I love picking up pieces of people that I like and photographers that I like. I've collected many things over the years.
I'm also a bit of a collector. It's almost like a little addiction. I've had it before with loads of things. Before I met Tash, I collect watches, which were really expensive. And obviously I didn't know why, I just wanted them and I had them, never wore them. I hate wearing them because they feel horrible on me, but I used to buy them because I liked the way they looked. It was books, first edition books, Discworld, Terra Pratchett stuff. I've collected loads of stuff. There was a point where I collected and grew succulents. I had a whole greenhouse.
Fossils and things like that, you know, these are all things that I've loved since I was a kid. And actually I've realised that's never gone away. And I think that's part of going back to the whole, you know, diagnosis, how has it helped, that's helped me to zone in on what do I actually love, what do I like, and going back to that stuff again and sort of refinding it, which is, you know, really nice to do.
What made you go for a diagnosis for autism? Is it autism you've got?
Yeah, I've got both.
So you've got
I've got all of it.
like a Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Collect them.
Both of my sort of diagnoses came as a result actually of ex-partners looking into it, read some books, find out more about it, and then as I was sort of reading these books I went, oh, that's me. Well, I think it was more a case of I was reading all these things, I was like, but that's just normal, isn't it? Like, everyone's like that, aren't they? And, you know, people looking at me funny when I said that. Because for so long I was, you know, so many things I was struggling with, like a lot of health issues like chronic fatigue and, you know, mental health issues and stuff as well.
Yeah.
For no obvious reason. You know, why am I doing the same work as everyone else, but they're all fine, whereas I'm permanently exhausted? Even when you talk about stuff like reasonable adjustments at work, I bounced between a lot of jobs where I was just trying to keep a job, hold it down and pay the bills, as opposed to being able to, you know, pursue what I really wanted to do. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of grief about that. It's how things could have been different.
That last bit is always something I thought, especially with jobs, I always used to think to myself, why do I hate every job I do? Like, why is every job so exhausting, and why do I feel so overwhelmed and overstimulated by every single thing I do, yet everyone else seems perfectly happy?
Yeah.
And I just thought for years I was just miserable. I just thought I was a naturally miserable person.
Tash says that I've not got, well, she says I've not got resting bitch face, I've got resting bitch voice, but I also do think I have resting bitch face too, because it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes if I'm in deep thought or deep conversation, I can look really angry, even if I'm not. Problems I had in my past was I worked in a lot of call centres, which is definitely the wrong job for me. And they try and train you to put on this fake voice, and they'll tell you, oh, you should smile on the phone because the customer can hear it. But I can't fake who I am. I've never been able to do that. Unfortunately, part of the autism experience, I think, for a lot of people, as I know I'm not the only one who has that problem. Yeah.
The fact that I'm quite a big guy, I'm sort of quite tall, I've got the tattoos and the shaved head. Again, with my tone of voice and things, I can sometimes be perceived as being rude or angry or aggressive when I'm not. But then often, you know, people respond to that negatively. I don't like that, and then that's where we end up. I suppose people often think, or certainly when I was younger, because of the sort of person I am and the things I was interested in, like sports and stuff, that I am just a blokey bloke, and that was never something that I felt on the inside. That was usually something I kept to myself. I suppose you call it masking, you know, just trying to fit in. And that involved being around people and conversations and topics that I really didn't like and made me really, you know, really uncomfortable. But you just sort of go along with what's expected and follow the script that everyone else is following because, you know, I was trying to fit in. And that's one of the things that's nice now, is knowing that I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow that script. I can seek out the people and sort of situations and conversations that I like, and I can completely avoid the ones I don't, which is good.
Did you go through a period where you thought you were just depressed or anxious rather than anything else?
Well, yeah, I've when particularly in my younger years, like 20s and everything, I had quite a few periods of quite serious depression. You know, stuff that involved being, you know, sort of hospital visits at times and things like that. And there was never particularly a reason for it, you know.
Yeah.
I was just incredibly overloaded all the time. There's a lot of talk nowadays about sort of male loneliness epidemic. I'm not sure how much of that is a thing and how much it is just a loneliness epidemic. I would certainly encourage people to, like I said earlier, find community. I think that's a big thing. There's talk groups like Andy's Man Club. You know, if you've got an interest in something, you can usually find a group around that. And I think it's about just talking to people and being open. You know, when someone says, "How are you?" Don't say you're fine if you're not. Actually tell someone. That can be risky, you know. That doesn't always go well. But I suppose I'd encourage people to find someone who they can have that conversation with.
Well done. Do you want to go and have a look in the mirror?
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you think?
It looks brilliant, yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
So good, I might get another.
Well, amazing. Yeah, well, we'll definitely get you in to do the other knee. So you've got a matching pair. That would be really cool.
Yeah, so we're going to come back and get the other one done and get a matching pair. Yeah, so halfway there. It's been a really good experience all round. And it's nice to be able to talk to someone, in a similar sort of place. Someone who's been through similar things, but also different stuff as well. And it's just nice to be able to talk freely.
What are you doing, Steve?
Not much. I think go home, have see my family, see my brother, have a catch up. That'll be good, and have some food. I think a quiet night. I'm done for the day.